Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, today we're definitely talking about using food to be and stay smarter. Today we are also starting a new series on this podcast, a short series in the format of problem solution case studies. So it's all about problems that my clients came to me or were experiencing while we were working together and how we addressed those problems and figured out the best solution that totally transformed some part of their day or their life. So today we are talking about Alex. He is a software engineer from Chicago. And Alex used to have this problem. He just couldn't focus in the morning. Like he just thought, oh, I'm just not a morning person. I wake up and I'm barely functioning till my lunch. And that was about it. He tried to avoid all the morning presentations or any sorts of important work in the morning. He couldn't really take any calls if he needed to for support or to talk to other team members. So he just thought that, morning is just, for emails and unimportant things. And so he would feel dizzy, unable to focus. He didn't have a lot of energy. He was low on energy. Until basically, again, lunchtime, he was barely functioning. So that was the problem. And Alex I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be losing half of my day. And then he would feel like he has to stay up late because he couldn't do anything in the morning, really. And so he still has all this workload to do. And the only other time when he could do it is on his spare time in the evening, late at night. And usually that would end up in later nights that he would like to, nights to be, and then maybe sleep quality wasn't as good as he wanted it to be. And then in the morning, he also didn't feel good because of that, and So it just continued indefinitely. It was like a vicious cycle. And he's like, what am I doing wrong? Am I just broken and I don't know, something wrong with my mornings? So here is what we did. First, what Alex had for breakfast before I wouldn't even consider to be breakfast. So he would have some of the coffee drinks from Pret a Manger with sugar, some syrups, sometimes some cream, sometimes some milk, like mocha. Sometimes it was something else with caramel or other sorts of flavors and syrups. And he would have whatever pastry looked the most appealing. Something sweet, maybe a croissant, maybe one of those rolls that they have. So he would have something like that just to start his brain, make himself going, as he used to say. And that was his quote unquote breakfast. And then he would just continue, sometimes ordering another coffee, getting it outside in a corner shop, sometimes getting coffee from a coffee machine. So he would just continue doing that till afternoon, about 1 p.m. when he would have his lunch. So that was his routine. And of course, immediately when I looked at that breakfast, I'm like, this is not breakfast. The brain doesn't need blood sugar roller coaster first thing in the morning. No, that's not what the brain needs. The brain does need some fuel, but that fuel gotta be quality fuel. For energy, if you are not on any sorts of ketogenic diet, you're not into, advanced intermittent fasting, I do recommend you to have breakfast. Now, if you are already struggling with your health, do not please start with prolonged fasting right away. Start with good breakfast. And that means a good amount of protein. For a guy, it usually means somewhere around 30 grams of protein. And for most guys, especially who were not into breakfast, eating that from Whole Foods would be a little bit overwhelming. So what we did with Alex, we decided that we're going to have 2-3 boiled eggs that we pre-boiled in advance so he doesn't have to spend time on that in the morning. And we chose a plant-based protein. We decided to go with plant-based because the way we weren't sure if it would work for his body all that well. So plant-based protein, unflavored, plain, no sugar added. from peas and rice and some other stuff that was there. And for protein, we also would have 2-3 boiled eggs that also have good amount of healthy fats and a lot of other nutrients, from B vitamins to vitamin D to vitamin A, that are so important for so many things in our body, and especially important for our brain to function properly. And what else did we add? We added quick oats. So no sugar added, but something that he could put in his fridge overnight with some water or some almond milk. We started to use almond milk. Sometimes we would use hazelnut, cashew milk, just to mix things up without any sugar added, nothing. Just put that overnight in the fridge. So in the morning, again, there is no cooking. And also in the morning, we decided to eat some berries, whatever berries he fancied, sometimes blueberries, sometimes strawberries, like a cup, and a banana. So that what we started doing for breakfast. As also you could hear, most of this, all of these things, they do not require any cooking. So oats were overnight, just regular serving of oats, a cup of cooked or soaked oats, then a banana, some berries that Alex bought in bulk on the weekends, protein powder that we would mix in our porridge, and Alex would eat banana with that porridge, and then he would finish with 2-3 boiled eggs. Sometimes he would have 2, sometimes he would have 3, depending on his hunger on that day. And guys, on the first day, everything transformed completely. Meaning, he felt like his brain was on fire. Literally, he said that he felt like he took some smart drugs. Like, he finally was able to focus totally on his work. He worked through this difficult piece of coding. I have no idea what that looked like or what that was, but for him it was a huge thing. And then by lunch, he didn't even feel that hungry. He made super healthy choices for lunch because he felt like he wasn't, that hungry. Also, his energy levels throughout the day were amazing. Like, they stayed stable, not high and lows. Also, he actually did not need another cup of coffee. He just now he just drinks espresso. That's just the way he likes it. Black coffee, but a small amount. So 1 espresso a day, that all he needs. Now he doesn't feel like he needs any coffee to bring himself up, because he's already feeling like his best self, capable of anything. He started doing meetings in the morning and presentations. He wasn't avoiding that. He's not avoiding that at the moment anymore. And he just, and also his nights completely transformed. Now he feels like he has so much more time for downtime, for friends, for hobbies, because he is very productive in the morning. Sometimes he even does some work before work, while he's still at home, because he wakes up early, because now he sleeps much better, because now he doesn't do any late night work, because he's so productive in the morning. So Alex's life and work routine and workflow is completely transformed now, and we're still working together. But for him, this was, like he said, this paid for the whole coaching for me, because this is like huge. And he says that the quality of work that he does in the morning is so much better than at night, when he's already sleepy and tired, but still had to work back then. So now again, Alex's work life is completely transformed. He is so happy about that, and then now so much more motivated to work on other health goals. And he's like, what else are there? What else do I not know? Don't know that can so much improve my life? So that was amazing. Small little problem that actually is quite common for most of my clients who are not into breakfast, but also they don't really don't do breakfast because of some, fasting or advanced protocol. No, they just have this like weird breakfast dessert cereal or some bagel or some pretzel for morning. That's a common problem. And then again, people are not productive in the morning, and then they end up doing more work at night, and then late nights, and they didn't sleep well, and this like vicious cycle. So you get the idea. So now Guys, my question is to you. Are you having a breakfast that feeds your brain, that delivers amino acids or proteins? Yes, your brain needs protein to function, not just your muscles. No, actually for neurons to like fire, you need protein in your breakfast right then and there, first thing in the morning. And you need some healthy fats, and you need some fiber to make, white oats. Also, sometimes people do omelets with a lot of veg, sometimes with some sweet potato, or some people do lentils. Why you need those complex carbohydrates versus something like, yogurt with some sugar, like processed sugar, added sugars? Why you need more complex carbohydrates with more fiber? Because that takes longer for your body to work through, and that delivers a long-lasting energy. So instead of spike of energy and then none, you actually are not hungry for longer. And also healthy fats in your breakfast help to prolong that nutrition for your brain and your body even longer. So yeah, that's what happens. You just start feeling all that hungry because all the fuel lasts that long because of the fiber, because of healthy fats, because of the proteins in your breakfast. So what I recommend again for breakfast to have in some form or another 30 grams of protein. Now again, if you're not into breakfast, eating a lot of protein-rich foods might seem like a lot, because to give you an idea, 100 grams of salmon is just 20 grams of protein, so you need to eat more of that. Or a can of sardines is just 18 grams of protein, right? So you need almost double that amount. So that is not a big amount, but still. So a lot of my clients incorporate protein powder in the morning. A lot of them like some sort of hot or cold porridge, because it just also gives bulk. It's something they're familiar with, something that feels like breakfast food. Then banana for potassium. I like people to incorporate that because you need potassium again for your neurons to fire, right? So some sort of carbohydrates, 30 grams of protein, healthy fats. I always recommend people to include either something like eggs with healthy fats, or something like walnuts if you're not into eggs. Eggs also have other benefits. Walnuts also have other benefits. If you incorporate walnuts, then I suggest a handful of walnuts. If you go for eggs, then 2-3 eggs in whatever way you want to cook it. But don't think that eggs is your only protein, because 2 eggs is just 12 grams of protein. There's just some, details, and you need about 30. Again, if you are a guy, at least 30. If you're a bigger guy, then probably closer to 40 or 50, especially if you're into athletic performance and building muscles, etc. So protein, healthy fat, something with a lot of fiber and no processed sugar, guys. Please, like your brain in the morning, that is the worst thing to do for your brain, to give your brain a lot of processed added sugars, right, in any form. So be that orange juice, freshly or not freshly squeezed, I don't care, it's pure sugar, or some high sugary smoothie. No, chew your sugars in fruit and other whole foods. Eat again, more complex carbohydrates like oats, like lentils, like sweet potatoes, like that's basically it for complex carbohydrates. If you need any advice on what kind of breakfast you need to have, or how to adjust your specific breakfast so it is more ideal for your brain performance and productivity, please do reach out on social media, on email that you can find in the show notes, on my Instagram at 1000yearyoung, or that is also my Twitter account. So reach out and I'll give you in 2 minutes or less the answer to your ideal breakfast. Also share this episode with anyone who's struggling with their morning, who's like, oh, I'm just not morning person. Well, again, maybe you're having that shitty breakfast. That is not even breakfast from my perspective. So share this episode with other people, with your friends, friends who are into high performance, who want to create high quality work, to make a difference, to create some value for the society. So share this episode with them. Also let me know how you liked it. I always love feedback on my podcast. And guys, as usual, till next time, thank you for listening, and eat better daily.